everyone. I had a better sleep last night, so that's cool. What I've just done is reset the VIX, so 1762 is the level. That populates in real time using the Google Finance function. And so if it goes green, this box here, then it's going to be risk on. If it goes red, we could be a little bit risk off. At the big picture, we're risk on, but the 24-hour difference is indicating that they're going slightly long on indices that they're looking to buy the dip. So if they buy the dip, then it could be quite bearish. So just to be aware of, like dollar CAD, they're very long on dollar CAD. So I'll show you dollar CAD when we do the charts, and they're quite long on the USD. That's in the strong sell section now, so including the euro. So it's quite a funny circumstance there. Aussie is in the strong buy, so is gold, but euro and dollar in the strong sell, and I think yen might be creeping over as well. Yen actually hasn't moved off its axis, and it's like nearly Friday. We did a little teeter over here, but then we came back on that axis again, so it hasn't actually moved at all. So the retail guys have been a bit stubborn. So that's that. Search tool. Don't forget you can use the search tool and you can see levels, but I just wonder whether or not this might be a bit too skewed now. There's 89% of people shorting cable, so and there's 11% who are long, so it could be a bit of a squeeze today. Remember that there's only finite funds for the bears. Once the bears give up, then it will fall. If the bears continue to pile in on their bearish bets, then it will carry on. But if there's only like 10-11% of people left, there's not much more room to go potentially. Technically strong, sentimentally strong, momentum is up. All right, so remember to use the search tool; it's really good. Let's have a look at the charts. Euro Oz, so we're below monthly pivot, so it's bearish, and we got RSL here. Remember, this is a risk off proxy. If we go above, and we're risk on if we're below, and because we're below, it's suggesting that we're going to be risk on. So volume nodes there and there, so it's that slap bang right in between. SOC very far away, 16212. and 15670. This is a good risk proxy. Let's go have a look at these. What should we do? Maybe we can do yen pairs perhaps. Let's do yen pairs. And then I'll finish off the majors, pound and euro. Aussie, see that level there, it's now support. So there's support 83.36. One above is 84. One below is 83.24. We are a buy. It's a bit sideways on the sentiment, on the dynamic, and your monthly pivot is there. Alright, so you're looking to buy dips because we're above monthly pivot. When we're below, then you sell the reps. Okay, so just keep that in mind. It's a very strong bias, and that's going to remain true till the end of the month. So Swiss yen, there's monthly pivot 125.02. Oh, we can't see the stop loss cluster, so I won't show you that. Euro yen, slow, so we've got a bit of resistance overhead, slightly. SOC 13170, 130.80. We are a buy, and they sold it here, round about there. So they profited a little bit on that move. They got paid 30 pips or so, but then of course it went up. But you can see they shorted it. And there, so there you go. But then they continue to sell it, and then they continue to sell it, and so that's why it went up. Yeah, so we're a buy here. Volume node is here. Might be of interest if you're trading this at 131.07. So it could be a good support. We are currently sandwiched between supply and demand. Okay. Pound yen. I'll show you CAD yen as well, because that's got some fundamental logic to that as well. So where's the demand? Oh, over here maybe. Yeah, okay. SOC above 15770 and 15663. maybe strong resistance here. You can see why. We can't quite break above, can we? We are a buy, and they sold it, well, actually pretty sideways, to be honest, isn't it? They up, then up, then down. Yeah, it's a bit sideways. Volume node there might be of interest to you guys. 157.03. So if we go below, we might trigger there. So we'll see. We've got resistance overhead. CAD Gen. I can't show you the SLCs, but I can show you the monthly pivot. There's MR1, so quite strong. Support now was resistance, as you can see. Resistance, then we went above. Support, and then above. So we'll probably have support again on those two values. Gold, and then we'll have a look at some majors. Gold, I can show the stop loss clusters, which is quite cool. 1828 and 1813. As signal triggered down here. Yeah. So if you remember my video from earlier, I think it was Tuesday, we teetered on that 1800 level, and I think it sort of infuriated the retail guys, and they thought, well, I'll just sell it. Yeah. So we teetered around the 1800, and I think they got a bit frustrated by the, the zigzagging, and they just decided to sell it. And we did pop below 1800. They probably thought, oh, it's going to be a sell, I'll hold on. And now what they probably did is they came back from lunch, because they're probably working, they're not looking at their charts, and then they look at it, oh, well, I'm $10 down, and I'll hold it. It probably won't go too bad. And of course they held it, but not only did they hold their bearish bets, but they added to their bearish bets. And for all this whole time, our signal was doing really, really well. It got to the 1828, so it's a ridiculously successful signal, so I'm quite happy with that. So this level could probably go here. I guess that's going to be the next support, 1805. So there's gold. Have a look at Aussie and pound and euro, and I'll wrap up the video. I didn't show you dollar yen as well. Aussie, SLC, 73 and 72. It's easy to remember, and they sold it, and it's a buy. So because they sold it, it's a buy. You can see the reflection there, and then they sold it again there. So up we go. But they moved their stops higher. Remember these blue lines are their stops, so they keep moving them higher, and the size isn't really decreasing that much, so they're being a bit risk averse, and I think they might even continue to do it. If they do continue to do it, it's going to go up and probe their stops. So dollar Swiss, wow, okay, and there's monthly pivot there. SLC 93, 91.20. We are a sell. It's very skewed, and they went long. They started to go long. Remember to try and get the trade when it crosses the 50% line. There, you could have done alright off that, because that's MR1 and the 50% cross. So it's not a bad little move there, actually. Sideways for ages. So that would have tied you out. 17 hours it went sideways, then it fell. So because we have to sleep, that's why trading is difficult, because you wouldn't really know which way this was going. Really, we should have fell, according to the sentiment and the technical, but if it's teetering on this like support resistance line, then really we could go up, and if you're sleeping you don't really know, and so you probably like leave your stops a little bit wider than normal because you're asleep, and then before you know it, it's fallen when you've woken up. So it's definitely difficult. The best thing is just to have good risk management, and that's the way to succeed. Even if you get stopped out a tiny bit, it's better than getting stopped out in a large way. So yeah, that's that. Pound USD, we've got some macro stuff going on with Bojo, but Boris Johnson. He actually committed a legal act by throwing a party when we're supposed to be in lockdown, in the first lockdown, and it's quite it's frustrating and annoying because the rest of the country had to obey the law, and he broke the law. So they're calling for his resignation today. It won't actually materialise, and nothing will come of it, but he's losing his support from his party. Now, if he does go and they get a new leader, it could be risk off on the pound, but we'll have to wait and see. But it is quite frustrating because, you know, it ruined everyone's Christmas, but yet they managed to have a great Christmas. And so it's one rule for them and one rule for us. So maybe the Prince Andrew thing could be a bit pound negative, maybe, but so anyway, the SLC is 137.20, 136.89. The stop loss classes are fairly small, and there's the volume nodes when they're stepping in and buying, and we are a buy sideways, really, but then they just decided to sell it. What's that? So, yes, that's a 4% move here at MR1. So yeah, be careful. And euro, and I'll probably just do dollar yen. It's a long video again, but hopefully it's useful. MR1 here, so keep an eye on 114.39 with 2 pips above. Big volume here. Monthly pivot is 113.30. SLC above is 114.55 and 113.75. If we go, seeing we're above MR1, we could probably target the SLC. If we're below MR1, we should be targeting the pivot. Alright, so we finally took that stop out, those stops out, like I said that we should do. They're quite old. If you have to go to Monday's video, yeah, I was saying how those stops would probably get targeted, and it did, quite successfully. So that's a big success from the banks. They took all that liquidity from the retail guys, and we are a buy, and we are a buy on the dynamic. So dollar yen, and that's it. And then it's Friday tomorrow, so that's great. Not sure about the calendar today, actually. I have to check. 114.74 and 114.30. There's monthly pivot. So we are a buy technically, we're a buy sentimentally. Maybe if the S&P falls, this is going to fall, but you know, we're strong. US 500. So there's your monthly quarterly open here, right? And then there's your that's the level of interest for me. I think if we hold below that, we could potentially be a bit bearish. If we go above, I'm going to go balls deep long, because that's going to be a great buy for the rest of the year. If we if it opens above the monthly, quarterly, yearly open, and we have some bullish candles above, then you know we're going to get well beyond all-time high. So that's what I might do. I'll put a signal out on the technical channel if we break this level, and if we do, then we can buy. I think it's going to be a good buy. At the moment, it's still below the yearly open, so got to be a little bit careful. And so that's that. Just quickly look at the calendar. Bubbles there, don't forget. Gold strong buy and dollar strong sell. Quickly look at the calendar. I've just woken up, so calendar. Probably nothing. Probably, I don't know. Let's have a look. Just get rid of those ones. Yeah, there's nothing. High severity. Fed speaker. Fed speaker. So, yeah, jobless claims, PMI, PPI. I don't know what they're going to do to the dollar. They might bolster it because they'll be talking about rate hikes. So we have to be careful. So even though the dollar bubble is strong sell, they might jawbone the dollar. So we've got a lot of speakers as well. So I'm going to wrap up the video now. Just keep an eye on your calendar. 1 o'clock they start yakking, and they could move the dollar potentially. Just if they're very hawkish and they want to bring the interest rate closer, because they're currently penciled in for March. But if they say bring it in closer because they want to like curb the inflation, it could be USD positive, and it could be a little bit risk off. So be careful. So 1 o'clock they start, up to 3 o'clock. Oh, even 6 o'clock is the last speaker. So 1 till 6. There's a lot of jawboning around the USD. Have a good day. I'll speak to you soon.